Hello, everyone. I'll be starting the new YouTube channel, myself, Geeta Shivkumar. I'll be taking you through grade 10th SST. So before starting today, CBSE has released term 2 pattern. So first, let us discuss about the pattern, how the pattern will be, and then every day I'll be sharing some of the questions which are very important on the board point of view. So term 2 pattern, in this question paper, you will be having 5 sections. Section A, B, C, D, E, and there is slight change. Okay, now you will be not having any MCQs. The entire paper is going to be a subjective paper, and all the questions are going to be compulsory. Internal choices will be there. Section A, you will be having 5 questions for 2 marks. Before that, it used to be 1 marks question, but now it will be 2 marks question, and word limit is only 40 words. Okay, so you need to be very careful that the keywords has to be written in 2 marks, then only you are going to get the 2 marks, 2 on 2. Then section B is going to have for 3 marks, and you will be having 3 questions. Question number 6, 7, 8, and word limit for the same will be 80 words. Section C will have 2 questions, that is question number 9 and 10, which will have for 5 marks, and 120 is the word limit. And remember one thing, children, you're not going to write any answers in the paragraph. All the answers should be in points. So for 5 marks, it's always very important that you need to write 2 lines introduction and 2 line conclusion with at least 5 points. Section D will be case-based question or source-based question. But before, case-based question used to have the multiple choice question. Okay, but now it will be a direct question what they are going to ask. And in this case-based, there will be 2 case-based, and per case-based, there will be only 3 questions. So 2 questions are going to be for 1 each, and third question will be for 2 marks. So it can be analyze question, it can be justify question, it can be reasoning question, it can be anything. Then question E will be map work. So map work, as you know, in history, there is only 1 chapter which is going to come, that is nationalism in India. So it is only for the identification. So only 1 marks map question will be there from history, and 2 marks map question will be there for history. For geography. And there will be no overall choice. As I before also I told you that there will be no overall choice, but internal choice will be there. Okay, let's move to the chapter which I told you that today we will be starting, that is money and credit. So again, money and credit in economics, you will be having 2 chapters for board exam. One is money and credit, and second is globalization. So both the chapters are going to come for 5 plus 5 or maybe 6 plus 4. So we need to learn everything because we never know what is going to come in the board exam. But yes, some of the very, very important questions which I am going to cover in this chapter, which will definitely lead you with the very good marks. So let's start. The first question is for 2 marks. What is bank? Define bank. What do you understand by bank? So any sort of question comes for bank. Remember, what is your keyword for the question? The keyword for the question is bank. Okay, and if you see bank with 1 word like what, define, or like, what do you understand? The answer will remain the same. So what is a bank or define bank? A bank is a financial institution. So when I say financial institution, this is the very, very important keyword for you, okay, which you need to mention in your answer. So what this financial institution do? It deposits, demand deposits are widely accepted as money for making payment and has the power to create money. So this again is your important keyword. Okay, I hope you understood how you need to write the answer. So in this answer, your financial institution, your demand deposits, and then your power to create money. These are the 3 important keywords which you need to mention in this answer. Second question, what are demand deposits? Again, like, as I said, the question can be changed. Okay, what are demand deposits, or like, how you can explain demand deposit, write in your own words or write a short note on demand deposit. Answer will remain the same. This will also come for 2 marks. So what are demand deposits? Deposits in the bank account which can be withdrawal on demand. So demand deposits are like, I am depositing the amount in the bank. So I can withdraw anytime and bank cannot deny to give my money back. So that is called as demand deposit. On demand, the bank needs to give. Now, let's move to the 3 marks question. What is money? Why is modern money currency accepted as medium of exchange? Okay, see, you can see I have included 2 questions in this. So they can ask you what is money. Okay, if they are going to ask you what is money, this is for 2 marks. Okay, and if they ask you why is modern money currency accepted as medium of exchange, this will be for 3 marks. And if they ask you both the question together, it will be for 5 marks. Okay, so but usually the question comes, why is modern currency accepted as medium of exchange? Okay, so let us discuss first what is money. Okay, money is anything which is commonly acceptable. Okay, acceptable. I go to the market, I want to buy one chocolate, I give 5 rupees. So that is commonly accepted. Why it is commonly accepted? Because it is authorized by RBI. Okay, so Reserve Bank of India or Government of India authorized the money. So no shopkeeper or no person can deny to take the amount. So money acts as a medium of exchange and it has a store of value. So when you're going to write the definition for money or what is money, again, these are the important keywords which you need to mention. So this is your answer for what is money. Let's move to the next one. Why is modern currency accepted as medium of exchange? Okay, what is the question asking you? What is modern money? Modern money is all your paper currency, notes, plastic money. These all are the modern currency. Why it is accepted as a medium of exchange? I go to the market, I pay plastic money, or like, I pay through the plastic money, or like, I give cash. Why it is accepted as medium of exchange? So goods and services are being brought and sold with the help of money. Okay, money only acts as an intermediate between the seller and the buyer. It solves the problem of double coincidence of wants. Now, you may be wondering, what is double coincidence of wants? Double coincidence of wants is a problem in the barter system. Now, what is barter system? Barter system is the economy where the goods used to exchange with goods. Exchanging of goods with the goods are called as barter system, and double coincidence of wants is one of the major problem in the barter system. What was the problem? Suppose, for example, I have horse, okay, and Y person is having milk. How these two will be exchanged through? Or like, I don't want milk from the person, but I have only horse to sell. So both the party needs to be ready to exchange the goods. So that was a problem in the barter system. So money solves that problem. I need not to have any buyer for my product. If I have money, I can go to the market, I can buy anything. So it solves the problem of double coincidence of wants. Perfect store of value. Perfect store of value, I can store. Money is not perishable in nature. I can store it, I can use it anytime, and I can yield also. Like, if I deposit that money in the bank or I invest somewhere, it gives me the interest. It makes economic activities quite independent from each other. Economic activities, what are economic activities? The activities which are carried out in the primary, secondary, and tertiary sector, those all activities can be independently, they can perform with each other. So this is your 3 marks question, and out of 4 points, you can write any 3 points. Next question, explain with examples. So in this question, they are very, very specified that you need to give example. So example will be for 1 mark. How money used as the medium of exchange? How I can use money as a medium of exchange? First, money is used as medium of exchange because it serves the common medium through which people can carry buying and selling. If you remember in the last answer also, I told you that money is intermediate between the buyer and the seller. So for the buyer as well as for the seller, it is very easy to to take money, and for seller also it is very easy that seller takes the money and gives the product to the buyer. Second point, use of money makes economic activity independent with each other. Again, it's the same point, but here what they're asking you the example. So example can be anything from your end. You can give your own example also, or a person wants to sell sugar and buy wheat. So this is a simple example of what I have told you, the problem of double coincidence of want. So the person who is selling sugar and buying wheat, they all need to have the coincidence that the wheat seller should want, the wheat seller needs to have sugar and sugar seller wants to have wheat. Okay, but money, if I have money in the economy, it is going to be very easy for exchanging, because now there is no person intermediate between the two, and they don't want that. Next one, what are modern forms of money? Now, modern forms, they are not asking you the traditional forms. What they are asking, they are very specific. They're asking you the modern forms of money. So metallic money, paper money, and credit money. So these are your keywords for this answer. Metallic money, paper money, credit money. The first two kinds of money are in the form of currency, and the last one is a credit or the bank money. Okay, let's move to the 5-mark question. How are deposits with the bank beneficial for individual as well as for the nation? Okay, again, they want example. So to give example, it is very important that you need to read your NCERT textbook. In NCERT textbook, you have a lot of short case-based stories. So from the stories, you need to pick and give the example. The deposit with the bank are beneficial for individual as well as for the nation. How? Banks accept deposit and also pay amount of interest, and in this way people earn money. So I told you, when suppose for example, if a person is having 5,000 rupees, if I'm going to keep this 5,000 rupees at my place, I'm not going to earn anything. So instead of that, what the A person thought, he thought that, okay, let me deposit that amount in the bank. He opens the bank account. In the next video, you will be learning more about bank and check and all the loan activities, other things. So he deposits in the bank. So bank don't keep the money just like that. Bank pays the interest for this 5,000 rupees. So that is only, they are saying that amount as well as interest in the way the people can earn money. Second point, people's money is safe with the bank. And in the house, robbery can happen or anyone can steal my money, but in the bank, it is safe. Okay, you can ask bank bhi ma'am diwala ho jata hai. So that is very exceptional case. Okay, every bank don't go into that point of where they don't have money to repay to their customers. So it is very safe. Our money is very safe in the bank. It is easy for individuals to get credit who have saving and current account in the bank. Okay, it is very easy. Here, remember, whenever we use the word credit, credit is nothing but loan. Okay, if I have a bank account in the bank account, whether it is a saving account or it is a current account, it is very easy for an individual to take loan from the bank. Okay, so if I have a bank account, I can easily opt for taking the credit from the bank, and I can, maybe if I want to establish my new company or I want to start my new business. So for all that, or I want to buy house or I want to buy car. So it is very easy for me to take loan from the bank. Fourth point, poor people who are engaged in the production need credit. Poor people, definitely, like for example, in urban area and in rural area, both requirements are different. In urban area, maybe the small producers want to expand their business. For that, they want the credit. In the rural area, maybe the farmer wants to buy seeds, fertilizers, pesticides. For that, they need the credit. So both the situation, credit requirement is totally different. Credit provided by the banks for the government project help in development of the nation. Okay, there are banks, for example, IDBI Bank. Okay, so it is the bank which is like, which develops the industries, or like, in the rural area, NABARD is there. Okay, so these banks make sure that the country also develops with the help of the government. When government needs the money, government also approach to the banks and they take credit from the banks and they develop. For example, suppose I just give you one example for this answer. Suppose, for example, for this point, for example, if government wants to build a dam. Okay, so for the dam, government takes loan or credit from one bank. Okay, and start constructing the dam. So when they will start constructing the dam, they will employ a lot of people. Okay, so for example, in the initial stage, they employed 500 people. So 500 people gets employment. So the country is developing. The people, the 500 people who did not have job on that point of time, now because of the initiative of government, infrastructuring development is happening. So that time, lot of, like for example, in your state, or like for example, in any of the state, if the metro is coming, you must have seen so many people got employment. Okay, it is not required that they need they need only the skilled labor. They need unskilled labor also. So both the areas, skilled labor as well as unskilled labor. So if you concentrate, I have given you example for each and every point. So you can elaborate the point and you can justify with one example. So I hope you enjoyed the video. We will meet tomorrow with more questions. Thank you.